And it manifested itself because of Donald Trump's inability to say. He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
It's really rich for Democratic leaders to say that Donald Trump is a unique threat to democracy when he peacefully gave over power, when he peacefully gave over power, peacefully gave over power, peacefully gave over power, peacefully gave over power.
Hello everyone, it's Queen V and I'm back to you with another video. This video pertains to the former Mesa County, Colorado clerk Tina Peters as she was sentenced by a judge to 9 years behind bars for a data breach scheme which spawned from the rampant false claims about voting machine fraud in the 2020 presidential race. District Judge Barrett told Peters after earlier sparring with her for her continuing to press discredit claims about rigged voting machines that she never took her job seriously. He would further state, "I am convinced you would do it all over again if you could. You're as defiant as any defendant this court has ever seen." Barrett also told her in handing down the sentence, "You are no hero." Jurors found Peters guilty in August on felony charges, which includes attempt to influence a public servant when she allowed a man to misuse a security card to access to the Mesa County election system and for being deceptive about that person's identity. At trial, prosecutors stated that Peters, a Republican, was seeking fame and became fixated on voting problems after becoming involved with those who had questioned the accuracy of the presidential election results. A one-time hero to election deniers, Peters has been unapologetic about what occurred. Before being sentenced, Peters insisted that everything she did to try to unroot what she believed was fraud was for the greater good. She further stated, "I have done nothing with malice to break the law. I've only wanted to serve the people of Mesa County." Later, the judge noted that Peters has kept up public appearances and broadcasts to sympathetic audiences for her own benefit. It's just more lies. No objective person believes them. No, at the end of the day, you cared about the jets, the podcasts, and people fawning over you. The breach led by Peters heightened concerns that rogue election workers sympathetic to partisans' lies could use their access and knowledge to attack voting processes from within. It's impossible to overestimate the damage Peters has done to other election workers in Colorado and elsewhere. Colorado County Clerks Association Director Matt Crane told the court, "In a real and specific way, her actions have led directly to threats to lives and families of the people who work in our elections," Crane stated. She has willingly aided individuals in our country who believe that violence is a way to make a point. She has willingly fueled a fire within others to choose threats as means to get their way. Peter's actions have cost the local government an estimated $1.4 million in legal fees and lost employee time. In addition, Peters has incurred unseen costs for the area. It should be noted that Peters was convicted of 3 counts of attempting to influence a public servant, which I previously stated, 1 count of conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation, first-degree official misconduct, violation of duty, and failing to comply with the Secretary of State. Now you will watch this brief clip of Tina Peters' sentencing, and I will be back with my commentary.
I mentioned before there are no mental health concerns. There's no good reason why you're here, Ms. Peters, other than these are all the active decisions that you made that cost our county significantly, but also more importantly, cost you greatly. Mr. Wood, all the members of the county who worked and trusted you when you asked them to do things that they did on your behalf as part of your lies. The expense, the toll is immeasurable. So putting you on probation when you have 0 needs that would be met by probation is the very definition of unduly depreciating the significance of what it is that you've done here, the harm that you've caused our community and continue to cause. Community corrections is the same, so prison is the only place that duly meets the purposes of sentencing in this matter. And therefore the sentence and judgment of the court is as follows. As to counts 1 and 4, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years in the Department of Corrections. Those sentences will be concurrent to each other. As to count 2, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years consecutive to counts 1 and 4. As it relates to the misdemeanor charges, count 8 is 120 days in the Mesa County Detention Facility, concurrent to count 9 and 10, which will be 6 months in the Mesa County Detention Facility, consecutive to the prison sentence. The reason those sentences are consecutive is because those sentences are, as the prosecution stated, directly related to what it is that you did here in our community, the damage you caused this community, the breach of your oath to the electorate in Mesa County. Your sentence will be followed by 3 years of parole. You have 2 days of pre-sentence confinement credit.
This guilty verdict is one of many. I don't think persons understand how severe this case is. Peters played a small role in this big conspiracy because of one man's ego, because he could not handle that 81 million people fired him 4 years ago, and because of his disdain of the American people, his disdain of how democracy works, this 34-time convicted felon has brought all of these people into this dangerous cult in which they are willing to put their lives, to putting their names on the line for somebody who would not do it for them. And this particular case is going to affect other cases to come. In the redacted indictment, this man stated, "Make them riot." Because of this riot on 1/6, Lives were lost. Peters used her influence to get what she wanted. And because of that, persons were hurt in the process. Once again, Beyonce told no lies. Them Karens turned into terrorists. And because of this act, many persons' lives in Mesa County will never be the same. We cannot pretend that 1/6 did not occur. On that day, domestic terrorists stormed the U.S. Capitol building, passing feces, urine, and other things. An estimated 140 officers were injured. Officers died on that day, including Brian Sicknick. And in the days and months after 1/6, unfortunately, 4 additional officers took their lives, which includes Gunther, Hashida, Howard Liebengood, Kyle DeFreytag, and Jeffery Smith. 1/6 is a part of American history because one man could not handle the fact that he lost the election. We are less than 32 days out of this election cycle. This is not the time to sit on the sidelines. Everything that we do moving forward until November 5th will determine our society moving forward. Are we going to continue to having a democracy, or are we willing to give it up and allow one person to having sole power? I will leave in the comments and description below as it pertains to hotlines and organizations, as it pertains to mental health. In addition, I will leave links and organizations as it pertains to voting in your state, at home, and overseas. And as always, elections have consequences. Elections matter. I thank you for watching. Please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.